stars, star cluster, galaxy, certain stars standing out, meaning life is on them. The feeling is this is where you're from, star seed. You've traveled, I see you in a light, bolt of light, traveling a long ways from there to be where you are now. There's indications of being particularly involved with what you might call right on the lines of where the energies of light and dark zigzag back and forth and protrude into each other. The front lines, you might call it, involved in the awakening of consciousness for the people of this world. And, the dark energies clashing with it that have certain investments and interest in, people continuing to not awaken on this planet. So there's indications here, okay, that this person is in that. And on those front lines, there's I see a depiction of a lot of extreme fluctuations, fast in energy, extreme shifts back and forth, part of the energy of this person in their life. And then I see an angelic, perhaps, depiction coming and sort of pushing further into the darkness and illuminating a lot of what's there. Someone who, through their connections to who they're connected to, I see them pushing further across the line into the darkness and illuminating things for those who they are working with, who need a look at certain things, like energetically able to take a view further into what's there. This is involved with your life. A slow uneclipsing of something, some kind of spinning planet or something. I don't know yet what's the message, what's the meaning of this. If I don't understand, feel free to take control of my voice at any time. Just pass along what's needed to who it's needed for. Thank you. See sort of an armada of ships moving past our sun and approaching our Earth and slowing down, hovering near the Earth, connecting with the individuals that are connected with them. You have meetings aboard these ships, apparently, in your astral form. I'm not sure if you're consciously aware of that or not, but you do. Frequently. It's a normal thing. There's quite a few people on the planet. I mean, they're kind of here and there. I'm seeing these ships picking them up, but it's a meeting thing in the astral form. You're all really the same people in a sense. It's just certain team members are incarnated in the current human form as part of the mission. And because you're on the front lines of certain energetic clashes of back and forth, light meets dark, and you have a lot of support. You have a lot of very intelligent, high-minded, guidance, okay? We'll see what else is here about that. I see a being standing extra tall in another world, a very beautiful world. Perhaps a female being with a large upper head that's almost sort of like a diamond, or diamond energy or something, and she's teaching a lot of other beings something, and they're similar in design but just smaller, so she's symbolically standing out here and teaching. And she's sort of leaving their world now, and she's planted the seeds necessary for them to grow. Whoever this is, she's like she's directly connected to you. I don't know exactly how, but she came from wherever the last world she was, teaching something and getting them started where they could grow with it themselves. She's wearing purple, okay, so purple's a symbol here. She has a crystal upper part to her head that's larger, like there's more going on there, almost like a crystal tower built in her head that's part of her species or something, and she's a really advanced one. She wears purple, or she is now, and some kind of an amazing teacher who once you've absorbed enough of the energy that she's teaching you, you know, then you'll be like you're becoming a beacon of whatever it is. It's growing in you, and then she can move on somewhere else probably and help someone else get started with it. But that's interesting. Hopefully the symbols mean something to you. I see light rimmed around the edge of planets forming the shape of a bow. I keep seeing this at different points in this vision. Anytime I see something that often, I just mention it. It might mean something to you. It's like the angle that some sun or moon is shining on a planet. Sometimes it's the Earth, sometimes it's another world, but the angle I'm looking at the planet from in space, it's forming the shape of a light bow, okay? Like a archer's bow made out of light, curving on the side of the planet, alright? So I've mentioned that now. Pass it along like mail, so... Okay, now someone's using a bow to fire an arrow through space, through a wormhole through space, or maybe it's forming the wormhole through space, or maybe both things are true, I'm not sure, but I'm just following this arrow through space. It landed in Florida, okay, somewhere near, when I'm looking at the whole state of Florida, it's somewhere near a body of water you can see on the state of Florida. Big enough lake, you can see it. This arrow was kind of near where it hit energetically. There's an extra light shining on the area now, like this, like even though it's daytime and everything's lit up on this whole big United States looking map, there's an extra light shining on that area now. It's extra bright, like being beamed down from somebody. I see figures walking around, like if I'm looking at a topographical map of Florida, I see a circle on the lower half of Florida with these figures wearing red walking in a circle doing some ritual around this circle. Kind of, yeah, it's creating like a portal that's reaching up. I'm going to see where it reaches up to, what it connects with. Yeah, okay, there's some kind of spacecraft way up here that it connects with. And something's coming back down through this vortex. It's like right now it looks like a statue, it's not the Buddha, but the Buddha statue, the way it's made of that bronze kind of something. This statue figure's coming down. Very different figure. I'm trying to get a closer look. It keeps spinning. It's like multiple animals built into one. It's like baboon and what else can I see here? Feathers. Maybe part lion, part... No, what is this thing? Keeps changing now. It's turned into a monkey who's sitting up like he's on a throne, and he's wearing this like crown. To him it's a crown, but it's made out of bananas and oranges and, you know, fruit, like a stack of fruit. So it's kind of like somebody thinks he's so awesome on his throne, but it's really silly because he's a monkey and he's just got fruit on his head. Okay, so I'm passing that along like mail. Seeing pyramids, a sun symbol coming up, and now there's two suns. One's lighter than the other. It's a whiter, bluer shade. They're moving together, crossing over, like the symbol of two circles slowly enveloping each other in that space in between that's made out of both. Is right over the pyramid like an eye. That space that's made out of the two parts of a circle that overlap each other is hovering now energetically like a burning fiery eye over a pyramid. It's kind of beautiful. It's not threatening. It's just amazing. It goes with the sun. The sun's aligned perfectly behind it. These two suns are becoming one. It's full of light. It's that shape and symbol where the two circles cross over. It's like the eye above the pyramid, and it's made of a flame. So perhaps flame gazing, or a message being passed in a flame in the inner eye, having to do with something about the third eye, the all-seeing eye, I guess, because we're looking at the pyramid eye like at the top of the dollar bill, but this one's come alive, and now there's some volcano just spewing these eyes out of it. They're just popping out everywhere. They're flying all over the planet, looking at everything. They kind of look like little saucers, and they also look like an eye, okay? So all that's tied together, the all-seeing eye, these little saucer-like eye entity crafts going around, spying all around the earth or whatever. Or just looking, just watching. There's a lot of all-seeing eye here being indicated in the message. Back to looking at Egypt again. We're really looking at one side of the pyramid. The sun's really shining bright on it. The sun's come down to the ground, and it's like walked into the pyramid, and it's going into the under chamber of some pyramid, lighting the hall up as it goes. It's become a ball of sun-colored light now, an orb, a being. And we're walking down these halls. We're underground now in the pyramids, okay? Some pyramid. There's hieroglyphs on the walls. We just keep going down. It turns here and there. Made a right somewhere. What are we finding here under a pyramid, my friends? There's a tablet, like the shape of how I've seen the Ten Commandments tablets depicted in an old movie, a stone tablet of that shape. And there is a crucifix figure sitting here in the middle of it, like a stone crucifix on a cross figure, sitting in the middle of this tablet that's under the pyramids. And we're honing in on the face of this Jesus depiction here, who is on this cross. And something came out of his mouth like he's suffering and dying, but he breathed out like this red little orb butterfly thing, and it's moving up now. Now it's turning into like a fairy and growing into like an angel being, a light being in this chamber. And she's showing me like a book. There's a book in this chamber. Now she's flipping through pages. She has long white hair, not blonde white, but she's youthful, radiant, green dress flowing in a wind that's not even there. Like she's incredible. And she's got a purple pendant hanging around her neck with silver around the purple pendant blowing off it. She feels like your guide, possibly. She's amazing. Again, she's showing a crystal hovering and spinning in front of her forehead and third eye. And now it's sunk in. Okay. So we're looking through this book now together, and there's this big reptilian eye on one page. It's like growing off the page, like it's coming out almost alive, and it's looking at us. And it's just kind of growing like vines and junk, and now she's just sort of closing the book just to sort of clap it, shut it, shove it back in there before it gets to growing into the room and stuff. You know, we've gone to a different page, and we're seeing like Eastern, yeah, that Eastern temple, the one with the big golden thing up top. I don't remember if this is the Muslim religion. I've seen it on the news. I don't watch the news often, but that, I think it's maybe in Jerusalem or wherever that big temple is with the golden, almost spade-shaped thing up at the top. We're looking all over that now, that city. We're just kind of hovering above it, moving around, almost like we're in a helicopter view. Okay, now we're looking at that Jesus statue in Brazil. I think it's Brazil, South America somewhere. It's being grown over with vines, covered over with vines. Now he's like a green earth statue standing there covered with vines. And I think I'm seeing this symbol for the Wiccan religion coming off this this Jesus statue that's now covered in vines, and it's coming out and rotating around in circles, and it's showing me all these interesting symbols, and there's gravestones moving by underneath it. Wicca, I think it is. Yeah, that was the symbol. Okay. Now we've gone back into some jungle somewhere different with animals I don't even recognize from this earth. A scorpion's tail, but it's on a lion's tail, is picking someone up to talk to him. Okay. I'm supposed to look up. Connecting to someone here. You tune this in, let them tune me in for a minute here. dimensional beings now, depicted like angels. I gotta try to keep up with them. They're taking me to a craft that's hidden way up high in the sky. It blends really well with the cloud at a really high altitude. These beings, they've often been not mistaken, we've often been called angels in your world, which isn't a mistake. Know that we are fighting your battles with you. But you are us and we are you. And we are your shield and your sword. And your arrows. And your bow. In your case specifically. You're a certain kind of light warrior. Shooting these arrows of light that are hitting specific locations on the earth, and they're creating an energy grid, and they're making connections like bulletins on a map. This is a higher dimensional part of you, and you're one of these beings. They feel like what I would call angels too. And they say that that's okay, that's a perfectly good name for them. From my perspective. They send this energy ball that sort of looks like the iris of an eye, and it sort of looks like an orb of sunlight that's not fully materialized. And electricity's in it, and the edges of it, the energy forms in those moon shapes, and it just keeps sort of phasing between those appearances. And they keep sending this to you, and I feel it move through me. And I sit in stillness and silence because it feels so good. I see it passing right through me to you. I see them doing this always. They're sending you a lot of this energy because of who you are. I see a part of yourself firing this energy to you from a higher place too. I see a higher form of you, a beautiful, radiant, beautiful female being with hair that's like made of clouds and light somehow, and filled with the energy of stars, and she can just fashion herself out of light and stars and parts of clouds to show herself to me. Wow. She says she's you, so you should know you're really beautiful and really powerful. That's the message here. And you're part of something really, really big for what's going on. In the changing of this world, literally changing the dimensions of this world, you're involved with these really high vibrational beings and a version of yourself that's one of them. She has the highest and purest of thoughts. I can only pick up on so many of them, but I feel her. She says when you see things like suns and moons crossing over each other, orbs like that, using the sun and moon often as symbol, or two suns, or different color moons, or different color suns, in meditations or dreams or any other visions, it has to do with her tuning to you and you to her, lining up the portals so more of her light, the higher dimensional you, comes through like a laser into your experience, into your awareness. And you're powerful enough, you can handle a lot more of this laser, okay? This higher energy. That you're a conduit into this world. Even while you're on these turbulent, oscillating energies of the front lines back and forth, you can still do that somehow. I think yeah. This higher dimensional you is there, and you'll be able to do that. It's obvious. She's so powerful and amazing, and she says she's you, so. Yeah, you're part of a beautiful team of high dimensional light beings. To me, they seem like sort of angels, so they just let me call them that, but there's other names for them. You probably have other names for them, but yeah, so you're dealing with a lot of fluctuating energy, and you have a lot of power, and you have these big waves of it that hit you coming from your higher self, and coming from different parts of your team that are incarnated in your world physically, and those of us who aren't. They say I just caught an arrow, okay? So that's a message to you. This whole thing's a message to you. It's like catching an arrow. It's one of your arrows to yourself, like the higher you, okay? You have a way that you're sending messages to your higher self. It was shown here like a hawk or an eagle or something. And then it comes back firing down, depicted like a firebird from heaven shot like an arrow back to you. Okay, a one-eyed creature just drew me a picture of a sunshine to remind you of, coming out from behind a cloud. He's a crazy-looking, silly creature. Now I'm going to read some of his thoughts. He's showing me some of them like smoke signals. And he's showing a cobra being hypnotized by someone. I'm looking carefully in its eyes. This cobra's eyes are rolled back in its head, so as this is happening, there's this depiction of like a baby Jesus in a little manger thing coming in gently on a stream and passing the gaze of this giant. This cobra turned into a big dragon, but his eyes are still rolled back in his head and he can't tell what's going on. And this little Jesus in the manger depiction just passed him by carefully on this gentle water that's full of spiritual life and energy. So it parallels somehow the story of Jesus coming into the world, and the forces there trying to stop all male children, or trying to stop what's coming in, but they missed it. Okay? And this parallels to your life. You're tied to that. That's the same kind of theme that's going on here. Through you and through the others that of what you're a part of, a lot of light, you could say, is being sent into your world. And we're blocking the gaze where necessary. So the great dragon is leaving now. Going back into the earth to sleep. Like a ley line. That's what this dragon became. And then I see a part of a revealing type thing happening. Where those who are working with you now start revealing themselves to people all over the earth at a rapid rate. So this great dragon energy that's a blockage, when it's out of the way, what you really are, those of you that are this light and part of this team start to reveal. There's a great revealing, okay? So this is leading to a great revealing that you're part of, a revealing upon planet Earth of someone else whom you are and whom you work with, who will be greatly revealing themselves through the work that's being done here, the preparation, the Earth becoming ready for it, the people, the systems, the things that are in the way. You're a part of removing the things that are in the way of this, aren't you? You're actively like a light warrior, I guess they call it. Awesome. I'm just learning these terms myself, but it's beautiful. I'm just being shown wonders about where you're really from now. So that's how this goes on now. So I think I could sit here and trip and share with you wonders for hours about what it looks like, where you're from, but it seems like that's the importance of the message for now. So if anyone else has any important mail for me to deliver, please hand it off and I'll do so. Just breathe into that for a few minutes here, relax. I'm open to whatever anyone else would like to pass along, and thank you very much for any help in doing so. I keep hearing arrows of truth. These arrows you fire, the higher you, they're arrows of truth that change the world. You're firing arrows of truth from a bow of intuition, shielded by the light of the sun, the fury of the sun itself. And the moon, a red moon, is a symbol that you're silhouetted in. A red moon. Orange moon, full moon. And one of the targets you hit, not to hurt it, but to connect with it, is a Pegasus symbol. This Pegasus is a symbol for a guide who comes and holds you, a light being. Someone you're very close to. Okay. Thank you for all the help and the love and the healing and the information and the honor of delivering it. And the tuning and the growing of humanity and the benefit of the co-creations we're all involved here, more than we know. Much love and appreciation, my friends. Thank you. Okay.